Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. So the long-awaited dating in Merida video is here. That's what we're gonna talk about today. My dating experiences here in Merida, Mexico. It is about to be sunset here and I am in the backyard of this home that we are currently staying in. Back in Merida, I feel so good to be home. It is so funny how you spend a little bit of time in a space and it starts to feel so much like home. Like, I won't get into, because I was about to start the whole rant about, what happened and why we're back here. You have to subscribe and hit the button to be notified of when that video comes out. But let's get back on track talking about dating in Merida. I started talking about the backyard because I know you can hear those birds singing in the tree behind me. I, for one, love to hear the birds singing. I love being out here back in nature. So I hope you like it too. And I hope it's not too distracting. Because we're going to talk the things them right now. Before we get into it, this is vlogmas day 2. This video is being uploaded on December 2, 2023. And if you are new here or if you didn't watch the last video, I did set a fundraising goal for this vlogmas series. The goal is $3,000 US. It will help me and Munchkin get back our own apartment here in Merida because it's kind of a sudden thing that we came back. We decided to ditch our plans and come back to Merida. And it does take quite a lot to get an apartment here in Merida, so we are fundraising to be able to do that quicker. And so if you're called to do that, if you want to help out, if you like the content and you want to pitch in, that link is in the description box below. So let's get into it. Dating in Merida. Where to start? All right, so when me and my family moved to Merida, Mexico initially, I was in a little situationship, I guess. It was a long distance fling and I was pretty happy with that because I was focused on family, I was focused on traveling, and I really didn't have the time for like a full-blown relationship. I must say that even right now I think something long distance would be so perfect for me because I get to fly out and see Bay and hook up for a weekend or a week or however long and then come back and continue the journey. But that ended, and so I decided to dip my foot in the pool and see what's out there. Now, so by the way, if you see me sweating, I'm back in Merida, the place hot. Let's talk about it. As a black woman, if I wanted to date a black man, my pickings are going to be pretty slim here in Merida because I find, let me make sure that you know this video is coming from my perspective and what I have experienced. I do find that the men who are here in Merida, they tend to come with their families. There are not a lot of single black men here in Merida, Mexico. Merida is a family-oriented place. It's somewhere that you look to move to. It's not really somewhere that you come to vacation. And so there are really not a lot of guys passing through here. There are really not a lot of single black men looking to move abroad, apparently. I don't know, but I don't find them. No, I never said none of them, I never said there's none because I have met quite a few and they tend to get snatched up immediately because the ratio is like 5 to 1, maybe even 10 to 1. There are a lot of single black women here who have decided to leave their home countries and come to Merida. Not a lot of black single men. Now this, to pile on top of that, a lot of the black population here is from America. I am not. So do I want to date a black American man because that's where the majority of black people here are from? That is another nuance to it. Just like black Americans, they want to date another black American. A lot of them, I didn't say all. Again, don't come for me here. But I don't know if I want to date a black American man. Like, God honest truth. Yeah, and it's a big pass for me at this present moment in time. And so when I find a Jamaican from, like my dating pool just immediately shrunk to pretty much zero. Like when I find a single, not even Jamaican, I would date a Caribbean man, but when I find a single Caribbean man here in Merida, Mexico, of all places. So the dating pool for me looked very, very dismal. And I decided, and it was okay because I wasn't in the dating pool, like I said. So I was pretty cool with it. I was out here traveling and living my best life. So in one of these expat Facebook groups I'm in, a single mom, she shared with us that she went on Facebook dating and found her little Mexican boo, and it had been going well. It was going so well at the time. So it's like Facebook dating. First of all, I don't even know if Facebook dating is available in Jamaica. It's not something that I had ever heard about. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna check it out. This was maybe very early this year. I don't know. I don't remember when. Went on Facebook dating, fired it up, and boom, I got like maybe 5 million messages at once. It was just very overwhelming. But I know I didn't set it up properly. So I just went on there very excited and started swiping immediately. And I got so many messages. I got overwhelmed and I was like, no. And I came off. And I left it alone and I was okay. Later on in this year now, I started thinking, okay, it does seem like Merida is going to be home and it would be nice to integrate myself a little bit more. Maybe I should open up myself and my mindset to dating a Mexican man. I have never dated outside of my race, ethnicity, nationality, none of that. I've never done any of that at all. It was a mindset change first. And I think if you're coming here as a single Black female and you want to date, that's the first shift that you're going to have to do. Is you're going to have to change and open up your mindset. So I was like, boom, all right, fire up back Facebook dating. This time I know I need to set some proper parameters to make sure that I'm getting what I want, right? So I went in and I set age and I put it very tight because honestly, if you're going to go into the whole dating pool and you are doing it on an app, might as well you pick and choose and set what you want, right? I think I put it between maybe 38 and 45, I think. I didn't want an onslaught of messages. I just wanted to keep things within my control. And again, if you can cherry pick, why not? I think I would love to date someone who's close to me in age. If I do meet someone outside of that, I'm open to it too. But if you can pick, you can pick. So I tightened down the age. I also tightened down the height. Again, don't come for me. But the Mayan men and the Meridian men, the men who tend to live here in Merida, Mexico, they are very short. And so I was like, if you can cherry pick, I have nothing against short men. I have dated guys shorter than me before. But if you can cherry pick, you're going to cherry pick your preferences. So I put height at my height and above. And then I think that's the only thing that I set up. Height. Oh yes, I didn't put this as a requirement, but I did say on my profile that if you speak English, that's a big plus, because let's add nuance and layer on layer. I'm already opening up my mind to date someone who is from a different culture, speaks a different language, does everything different from me, is a different skin tone, different ethnicity, different nationality, everything. To add the language barrier on top of it, I just thought would have complicated things so much. So it's not like I wouldn't have tried, but if I met someone here who does speak English, it would have just made my life easier. But I didn't put it as a requirement. I just said it's, I would love if you do. And lo and behold, I started swiping, and of course I got a couple matches out of that because gal at gal. So anyways, I started talking to some people. Most of the people, I did have a couple guys reach out to me and say, they wanted to we can help each other sharpen up our language skills, and I'm all for that. So I was like, cool. But it turns out that I started to talk to two guys who do speak English very well, and so we moved things over to messaging, and we were messaging each other, and things moved very quickly here in Mexico. I found with the Mexican men, they immediately asked me out on a date. They wanted to take things out of the messages and into face-to-face. Guy number one is a musician, and guy number two is an architect or in that field somewhere. So the musician was the first one to message me, and he was, very suave, and I was really digging it. And every time I open up his profile picture to say, yeah, man, I can do this. He's cute. I know I'm trying to convince myself, because to me, chocolate melanin is everything in this world. And I was just like trying to open up my mindset. So every time, because I'm just looking at his profile picture like, there is no spark here, but let's continue. So date number two, the architect, let's just call him an architect, Mr. Architect, he immediately invited me out for coffee, and I was like, coffee at 8 p.m, sure. He wanted to do it tomorrow too, he was ready to go. So we set a date, which was a couple days out in advance. As it got closer to the time, he kept messaging me, where would you like to go? And I didn't like that. That was red flag number one. I am the foreigner here. I just came here. You live here. You should be saying, I know this cute place. Let's go here. So I look up some coffee shops that are near me, because I already know that I'm not going to let him come for me on the first date. I'm going to Uber there. So I'm looking up coffee shops that are near me. I find something that's really cute. I send it to him. He's like, sure. So he did offer to come and pick me up, but I was like, no, I'd meet you there. So we Uber there. I Uber there and I meet him. He's on time. He looks good. It's working out pretty well. The conversation was nice. I ordered a milkshake or a hot chocolate or something like that because coffee at 8 p.m. No, girl. So the conversation was good. And by the time an hour had passed, I had loosened up and I was feeling comfortable. And I even allowed him to drop me home. He seemed to have fun. That was the time that my parents were here living in Mexico with me, and my mom was throwing a fish fry. She did that once every month because fish fries are big things in Jamaica. So I got so comfortable that, we were talking about different food from our countries, and he said he had never had Jamaican food, and I opened up my big mouth and invited him to the fish fry. And I immediately regretted that because I wasn't ready yet for him to be like around my family, but we went out to the coffee date on a Thursday. He actually came to the fish fry on that Saturday. So boom, bang. And you know what? He blended right in and he was talking with everybody and he loved the rice and beans. And yeah, he actually, me and my daughter were playing dominoes and I was just like, what is this? But it went really well. Mr. Musician. We were supposed to he invited me for sushi, and that was supposed to be the Sunday after the Saturday thing. He had a gig that Saturday and he invited me to come listen to him play. I said, no, remember I told you my mom had a thing, because I told him in messages before that. He was like, oh, okay. Sunday comes around, we have a sushi date. Now I know the culture here in Mexico that not go on a Sunday. If you have a workman supposed to come and fix something around your house, if you have, nothing happens on a Sunday. Even they will tell you, so I'm not coming up, and it's not happening. Barely any food delivery places are open on a Sunday. So when he set the date for Sunday, I thought, well, okay, he's just really into me. Sunday come around, I'm gonna hear nothing from this man, and I'm not going to be the one to reach out and say, are we still on? Nah. So I hear nothing from him at all. Sunday come and pass. About Wednesday now, him messaged me a video because he was sharing clips of his band, doing music. So he sent me a video on Wednesday and I read it and I left it alone. And then he messaged me a couple hours later, like, did you like it? So I said, I haven't listened because I was working. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm going to check it later. And I guess he didn't like that response because he read that and he left it alone. And then a couple hours later, I did listen to a little snippet of it because it's Spanish music. It's not my gig, but when we were talking and he recognized that I'm from Jamaica, he started sending me clips that sounded reggae-ish. And so he sent me a reggae-ish clip that his band was playing, and I listened to it and it was cool. So I responded a couple hours later and said, that's pretty cool. I liked it. We exchanged maybe 2 lines after that. And that was it. I haven't heard back from him, and I haven't messaged him either because we kind of feel like, say, you set a date and you forgot it, or I don't know, whatever happened. I never even did for answer him back after that, honestly, but that was that. So Mr. Architect is actually still in the picture. So when I told him I was going to Mexico City for Day of the Dead and all of that, he thought I was just going for Day of the Dead and coming right back. So he was still messaging me right up onto it. When I was there, he messaged me, and then he asked me when I'm coming back. I said, well, I know. And he was like, oh, I thought you were coming back soon. So he messaged me even a couple weeks out again, and I said, well, I think I'm going to come back to Merida. And he said, oh, I'm very excited. Let me know when you're back. And then I messaged him once I'm back, and he said, I'm so happy you're back. Let's go for drinks. So I like that energy. I still don't know if I'm attracted to him, but I think it could be a very slow, let's take this one day at a time kind of a thing. And we'll see where it goes, because I like his energy, and energy is number one whenever you're about to date someone. But it's not like I see him and I'm attracted to him at all. Maybe we'll just be friends, and that's cool too, because I would love to expand my social circle of Mexicans, of local friends. And so maybe I can be his friend and meet some of his friends and expand my social circle. But as of right now, I don't see myself being attracted to him. But I don't say never say never. So I am still very open to it. All of this to say, all I want to fasten on my business for say, me spreading all of my business to say, if you are coming to Mexico and you are single, perhaps looking into opening up to dating other races, ethnicities, nationalities, whatever the case may be. Because you will hear in the expat groups that dating here is trash. And usually that is people who are saying that there are no single available black men here. If that's what you're looking for, Merida is not the place to find it. I saw lots of hot single guys walking around Playa del Carmen, but they're on vacation. They're here for a hookup. You can find a hookup in Playa and Cancun and Tulum for sure. If that's what you're looking for, go for it. But the dating here is pretty good. Now that I've been here over a year, I can tell you that a lot of the girlfriends that I have met, and some of them are in full-fledged relationships now with Mexicans. So if you're open to it, the dating here is fantastic. And these Mexican men are pretty, I mean, that part of it is for a different video, because I've heard, whispers of misogyny and what is the word that I'm looking for? Just, them being men. They are still men, and we know what that means when we say that. So there are still all of those things to look out for, because I've heard those stories as well. But the Mexican men are very nice, and they want families. They will wife you up immediately if you start to date them. I've seen some very quick relationships happen here. So if you're open to dating Mexicans or other ethnicities, you are in the right place. You will find a husband here. I think that's all I have to say about dating in Merida. I have heard that people have had success on even Tinder. So, in other places, Tinder is a hookup app. It's nothing else. But I guess the Mexicans are using it differently, because I would never have thought that Facebook dating you would actually find somebody decent. But the Mexicans are using these dating apps properly, and you will find decent catches out here if you are looking, if you're open to doing all that. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will be in there answering and discussing and chit-chatting. As always, please guys, make sure you're following me on Instagram or TikTok, whichever one you prefer, because real-time updates tend to happen there. And remember that I am fundraising all November. I will be here showing up on YouTube every single day up until Christmas. So this is Vlogmas Day 2. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one.